Alright, let's cover Battlefront 2. Oh dear God, let's talk about Battlefront 2. So usually I like to only cover things when I feel like I can add to the discussion, so you've already heard everything about the microtransactions and how stupid they are and how loot boxes suck. I can't add anything new to that. Everything that everyone's already said is completely correct and 100%. They're the dumbest thing ever. And I'm very happy that they're not a thing anymore, at least for now. They're probably going to be brought back at some point, but, you know, I guess for now we get to revel in the fact that you can only get them in-game, but they still have extreme gameplay-affecting items in it that makes it unfun for everyone to play, because this game isn't fun to play the multiplayer. I don't think it's very fun at all. I think it's really unbalanced. It's imbalanced by choice as well. They made a conscious decision to make things in the game better than others and have items and star cards that make players better than players that might not have been playing as long, and that's really not okay. Anyone that gets to be Darth Maul or Luke Skywalker is going to have fun at the expense of everyone else in the game, and I think that's really stupid. Now here's the thing though, the original Battlefront 2, yeah, it had similar mechanics in at least the sense of the heroes, where you could play as the hero in multiplayer and wipe the floor with everyone. But the whole thing about that is the original Battlefront 2 wasn't really a multiplayer-focused game. I don't think multiplayer was really that big of a thing with that game back then. In fact, my fondest memories were playing couch co-op or playing by myself and mowing down stormtroopers, droids, rebel scum, etc. And when you're playing a single-player game and you get to be a Jedi and mow through hundreds of AI, you're not pissing off the entire other enemy team. In fact, you're just having fun by yourself, and that's a much better experience for everyone. And hey, some people still like the multiplayer, that's totally fine by the way, you can like whatever you like, that's okay. But the problem for me as well is that I can't play the multiplayer game mode single player. They have an arcade mode, yes, but you only get like 4 different maps and it's either TDM or Onslaught, which is basically TDM, except you don't have a team on your side and you just shoot AI until the game ends, and it sucks. Why is there not a single-player version of all the multiplayer game modes? We know they can do that because modes like Starfighter Assault have AI in them. So why can't you just play that one offline so when you spawn you can run more than 10 feet without getting shot by someone with super upgraded star cards? Well, sorry, I know the reason for it, and the reason for it is because they want you to get shot by the people with super upgraded star cards so that you have to get your own star cards and potentially, at least originally, spend real money. Because that's the insidious nature of loot boxes and microtransactions in Battlefront 2. They want you to spend real money by putting you at a disadvantage to the other players, but not so much of a disadvantage that it's super obvious. They want you to subtly just know that the person who's shooting at you can kill you in less time than you can kill them if you don't have the same star cards. So what's the benefit to adding in single-player versions where you're not playing against other people with more powerful cards than you? There isn't any for the company, there's only benefit for the player because they get to have fun playing the game. And again, we know that they can add things like this in. They put in Walker Assault in the last game, albeit only the vanilla maps, and then said, hey, sorry, we're not putting any other single-player content in this game, and it was absolutely awful. I don't know about you, but I originally viewed Battlefront 2 as more of a power fantasy game where you get to run through and destroy oodles upon oodles of enemy troops. And in a multiplayer-focused game, that doesn't really happen unless you get to be one of the lucky people that gets to play Darth Maul. And it makes me angry, because even playing the arcade mode where I only get to play TDM, I still have an infinitely better time than when I'm playing anything in multiplayer. I really like how satisfying all the shooting mechanics feel and stuff, but I just don't have a fun time because everyone else kills me every 10 seconds. And no matter how good you are at the game, you're always going to run into games where you just get killed over and over and over again, because half the time when you spawn, particularly in the Starfighter Assault mode, you're instantly in the enemy's sights and they shoot you. Which is annoying because Starfighter Assault has some really awesome moments in it, and it's genuinely really enjoyable to fly all the different starships. But because it's so easy and they literally give you a giant circle to aim at whenever you're anywhere close to another ship, you just blow everyone up in 2 seconds and then the same thing happens to you. And again, if I could just play that mode offline, I'd be playing it for hours upon hours because it's super fun to blow things up. But it's not as fun when you spawn and instantly get blown up, then have to sit in the menu for another 15 seconds. Like, there isn't even a Starfighter mode in the arcade, and that's the one mode where they did put bots in it in addition to real players. All you have to do is add in a few more bots and then the mode will be ready to go. Why is it not in the arcade? And look, someone's gonna tell me that I just need to get good, that I'm not good at multiplayer games. I don't care. I'm an average player, but I shouldn't be punished for being an average player. If you look at any scoreboard in any Battlefront 2 game, you're gonna see 1 or 2 people with like 50 kills and then everyone else has about 80% less, because those guys are either the top 1% of players or they got Luke Skywalker and killed everyone else over and over again. And I just want to be able to do that but not have to worry about pissing off the entire other team or just get killed every 20 seconds. Which is why I want an offline mode. Those multiplayer modes can still be a thing, but you can have an offline mode version too, so that everyone is guaranteed to have a fun time. And it's extremely insulting that they have the ability to do it. It's relatively easy to implement, but they have an utter refusal to give you any worthwhile single-player content. Now let's talk about the campaign. It's about 3.5 to 4 hours long. I've beaten the entire thing, and overall it's really mediocre. Aside from a few really bright points, particularly the second to last mission, I thought was great from start to finish, but everything around that is really crap. The storyline itself is about as bare bones as you can get, and everything you assume is going to happen, happens. Seriously. You know that plot twist that you really expect to happen and you're thinking about right now? Yeah, it's there. It totally happens. And I mean, that's a generic Star Wars story. That's not the worst thing in the world. I can deal with that. But when it's only 3.5 to 4 hours long, it feels like a giant waste of time, especially when you end it on a really obvious and dumb cliffhanger. I think overall, the thing that annoys me the most is that there is potential with this series, there's potential with the game, but they just don't want to do it. They're so dead set on getting more money out of you in this really scummy and shady AAA industry that's happened in the past few years that any potential for a proper, well-made game that is value for your money is completely lost. And you see little glimpses of it every now and then, but then this big dark shadow, like it's from the upside down, comes in and just consumes everything. And all that gets lost when you remember that you're not really having fun. If you had high hopes, if you really want this to be a fantastic experience, I think it's honestly going to just annoy you, piss you off, and leave you with a terribly awful, sour taste in your mouth. If they add in more offline and single-player modes, I'll be happy. I'll just play those, and then that'll be fine. It'll be kind of like my, oh, I want to go and shoot a bunch of things, and that's kind of cool type of game. Does that make sense? Sure, why not? Let's go with that. I am PattyJack. I am pretty much done with this game, and I'll see you next time.